All right, so John, there's a slew of questions on here, but did you think of anything you wanted to talk about in particular?
How do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, I'm glad you picked 10 and not 20. I'll be retired by then.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, there's things that there's a couple particular things I want to do after I'm retired. I mean, I know two things. I want to be a graphics facilitator for PATHs. PATH is an acronym. A lot of people in the developmental or intellectual disability community use these. It's where you gather a circle of friends to support the loved one this PATH is for, and you literally have this discussion about a plan for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, about what it is they want to do. And then there's a facilitator who leads that discussion, and then the graphics facilitator draws it on a gigantic piece of paper. So it's a plan, and it's a visual plan. I mean, there's lots of words in it, but there's visuals. I mean, I thought my caricature of you, John, the picture of you, with all those arms around you, I thought it looked pretty good. I got your eyes right in that one.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be a graphics facilitator, the person who draws. The problem with that is, and you're going to laugh at me, I am not a good speller.
Yeah.
And you're standing up there having to spell words, and you're like just going blank on how to spell it. And the people are throwing out different words, and you're supposed to be writing all this down. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, and it's, you're writing in ink. It's not like pencil, and you can erase it and go back and fix it, right? And one time I was with a facilitator who was an equally bad speller, because I turn around and say, how do you spell this? And she goes, I can't do it. And so then we just stop and ask the audience to spell it for me, because I couldn't do it. So that's the one thing, is I'd have to figure out to have a quickie, thing to spell words for me. So
yeah.
I want to, and this is the more crazy one, is after my dad was retired, he walked up one of the Grand Tetons with my brother. I want to walk up one of the Grand Tetons. The Tetons are in Wyoming, Montana, Idaho area. And it's right next door to Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton National Park. And you have to go over in a ferry to go, because they're kind of like on an island. And you got to make it back down before the last ferry leaves, or you're spending the night there.
Yeah.
So my dad did it when he was in his late 60s. So that's something I'm hoping to do as well.
To be honest with you, Rita, I don't know what I'm going to do in 10 years. So I just...
Well, John, when I was your age and you asked me that, I probably would have said the same thing, and that's when some of the biggest changes happened in my life.
Yeah.
Because, one of those questions is, have you ever done anything you never imagined you'd do? And I go, yeah. I became a mother.
Yeah.
Up until I met the man who would be my husband, it never crossed my mind that I would be a parent.
Yeah.
And it wasn't high on my to-do list.
Mm.
Do you remember the first time you met me?
When you came to the house with your family?
That's good, John. That's not what I remember meeting you. Well, I think I remember the first time I spoke with, you might be right, John, but the first time I had a real conversation with you, I recall, is when you came to our office.
Office, yeah.
Yeah. You were coming, I don't know why, you were having a meeting with Tim or something.
Yeah, I was applying for a job here, and Tim told me you're going to be my supervisor.
What if you frame it as, Rita, what strengths do you see John have?
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's the nice thing about the past too, John, because you can sit there and say, well, I'm not really a people person or something. And everybody in that room, somebody are going to say, are you kidding? And then they tell you examples of how you were a people person, and you never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, I think so.
So what are your strengths? We're doing it right now, John. We're having a conversation, and you are actually very good at your job.
Yeah.
And and you've handled weird stuff like people hanging up on you, people's going on with the who are you? I don't get this, or half part of the way through the conversation before they even click in about who it is they're talking to.
Yeah.
And or being suspicious or whatever, or going through the steps to get to the person to talk to.
Well, what one thing I noticed about that is that every time I say it's me from Atlanta, they probably even don't know me. I'm calling them, so and it's like, but sometimes they hang up, and sometimes they say I have the wrong number. So.
Oh, but then other people have said, this was such a nice surprise. I never get thank you calls.
Yeah.
Or one of my favorite ones is somebody who spoke in a kind of a monotone, and you thanked her, and she said, "It brings me joy." You are a good listener.
Yeah.
And you've given me, as I've mentioned earlier, some good advice and some of your experience to let me know that that worked out or that really didn't work out. And I need to think about that. So,
John, what are some of Rita's strengths?
I mean, she's a good listener. She's every time I call her, she talks to me about some, and one of the things I do appreciate is she makes herself available when I call. So,
John, do you think of us as friends and as good friends?
Yeah, I do, Rita.
And why is that, John?
Because we work together in the office.
Yeah, but we talk a lot when we're not in the office, too.
Yeah, we talk a lot when we're not in the office, yeah.
And see, you just complimented me on taking your calls. And John, you caught me while I was in the bathroom, and you were nice enough to say, I said, John, I'm in the bathroom. Can I call you back?
Yeah, sure.
And you let me do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're one of the few people, John, who's actually in this organization who've been to my house.
Yeah.
Remember the power was out, so I had you come over to my house because I had power at my house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we worked at your house too. So. Anyway.
Well, I think we have lots of things in common.
Yeah.
I mean, we've also talked about health issues that we've experienced with ourselves and our loved ones.
Yeah.
And I think we've offered each other some advice.
Yeah. I think we're good friends.
But can you be a St. Louis Cardinals baseball fan?
No.
How about the Cubs?
No.
So, really?
Well, I'm a Braves fan all my life.
Oh, okay, all right.
So anyway, it's.
No, it's the hometown team.
Yeah, the hometown team.
And I moved here, so I had a favorite before I came here.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
I'm always happy for the Braves.
Yeah.
Until they play the Cardinals.